For 10 years, they called it a scam. This week, they're begging Congress to make it legal. Same firms: BlackRock, Fidelity, Goldman, Franklin Templeton. The most powerful money on the planet, $30 trillion between them, spent a decade telling you crypto was a joke, a bubble, a scam that would pop. And now, they're on the phone with the Senate, pushing to pass a crypto law as fast as humanly possible. Coinbase says the vote could hit as early as Monday. So somebody's lying. Either they were lying then, or they're desperate now. And I don't think these people get desperate. Here's the tell. Coinbase's chief policy officer said it out loud on Fox Business. The same banks fighting this bill in public are racing to build on crypto in private. Behind the curtain, they're already in. And there is exactly one thing standing between them and trillions in new money. One law. That's what Monday is really about. That's what nobody's connecting. So do not scroll, because by the end of this video, you'll understand what $30 trillion already figured out and why XRP is sitting dead center of it. Let's go. Real quick, straight from the heart. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing here is a promise. Anything I say about timing or price is my opinion, never a guarantee. I make these videos because I believe in this space and I believe in you. So do your own research, protect your family first, and let's stay patient together. Cool? Let's get into it. Let me start with the whiplash, because it's genuinely stunning when you lay it out. Rewind a few years. The biggest names on Wall Street didn't just avoid crypto, they trashed it. Publicly, loudly, called it rat poison, called it a fraud, warned their clients to stay far away. These were the gatekeepers, and the gate was slammed shut. Now look at today. Franklin Templeton put out a public statement urging the Senate to pass this crypto bill. Firms like BlackRock, Fidelity, Schwab, and Goldman are lined up behind clear rules for digital assets. The very institutions that mocked this space are now some of its loudest advocates in Washington. And I want to be precise, because precision is how we keep this channel honest. That 30 trillion number is their combined assets under management, the total money they oversee, not some pile they're about to dump into crypto tomorrow. But it tells you the scale of who just changed their mind. This isn't a couple of hedge funds. This is the core of the traditional financial system. So here's where folks go wrong. They see the headlines and think, great, the banks love us now, we won. Nope, that's not it. These firms didn't find religion, they found opportunity. They're not doing this for you or for me or because they suddenly believe in decentralization. They're doing it because they finally see a way to make an enormous amount of money, and one specific thing is blocking the door. And that's the real story. Not that Wall Street changed its heart, that Wall Street changed its math. Let me show you the number they ran. Because once you understand what these firms are actually trying to do with crypto, the thing worth trillions to them, you'll see exactly why they need this law, why they need it now, and why XRP might be one of the biggest winners of the whole shift. That's the next 60 seconds. Stay with me. Okay, here's the word that explains the entire 180. Tokenization. Let me make it dead simple. Tokenization means taking a real-world asset, a stock, a bond, a fund, a piece of real estate, and putting it on a blockchain as a digital token. Same asset, radically better rails. Instead of settlement taking days, it takes seconds. Instead of markets closing at 4 p.m., they run 24/7. Instead of armies of middlemen, it's code. Now think about who makes money running the old, slow system. The banks, the clearinghouses, the custodians. So why on earth would they want to blow up their own business? Because here's the brutal truth they figured out. If they don't tokenize their assets, someone else will tokenize the whole industry around them. Adapt or get replaced. And these firms did not get to 30 trillion by getting replaced. So they're moving. They want to put their funds, their bonds, their products on chain and capture all that efficiency for themselves. This is a multi-trillion-dollar prize. But, and here's the whole point of this video, you cannot tokenize regulated financial assets in America without knowing the rules. Which regulator is in charge? Is the token a security or a commodity? What happens if the law changes next year? Right now, nobody can answer that with certainty, and no serious institution moves trillions into a legal fog. That's why they need clarity, not because they love crypto, because clarity is the green light that lets them tokenize safely and at scale. The law isn't the finish line for them, it's the starting gun. Let me pause here because I need to know something. Did you know the banks pushing this law aren't doing it for crypto? They're doing it to tokenize their own assets. Type yes or no in the comments right now. I read them personally, and I want to see how many of you saw the real motive. Yes or no. Go, then come right back. All right, so if that's the prize, where does XRP fit into a world where Wall Street tokenizes everything? Because this is the part the mainstream completely ignores. And it might be the most important 60 seconds of this whole video. So let's connect it. If the entire game is about to become tokenizing real-world assets on fast, cheap, always-on rails, then the question that matters is simple. Which rails? And here's a fact the headlines skip. Real-world assets tokenized on the XRP Ledger have already crossed $4 billion. Not a promise, not a someday, already happening. The XRP Ledger was built from the ground up for exactly this kind of thing. Fast settlement, low cost, moving value that doesn't sit still. While the mainstream keeps crowning other networks, XRPL has quietly been one of the fastest growing homes for this exact type of asset. Now let me keep it 100 with you, because that's the deal on this channel. This does not mean every tokenized bond on Earth lands on XRP tomorrow. And it does not mean the XRP token price pumps the second a bank tokenizes a fund. I'm not going to sell you that fantasy. There are multiple networks competing for this, and a lot of the value moving early is in stablecoins and specific products, not the XRP token itself. But here's what it does mean, and it's huge. When the biggest asset managers on the planet go looking for infrastructure to tokenize trillions, regulated, battle-tested, fast, cheap infrastructure, the XRP Ledger is sitting right there, already proven, already handling billions. In a world where Wall Street tokenizes everything, XRP isn't a lottery ticket. It's a candidate for the plumbing. And the firms with 30 trillion under management are exactly the ones who pick the plumbing. That's why XRP holders should care about a Senate bill that never even says the word XRP. Because the law that unlocks tokenization for Wall Street is the same law that opens the floodgates for the network XRP secures. But here's what nobody's telling you about the timing. All of this, the whole $1 trillion shift, is stuck behind a door that could swing open as early as Monday, or slam shut until next year. Let me show you exactly what's about to happen and what to watch. So let's talk about the clock, because this is where hype and reality collide. Coinbase's policy team has said a Senate vote could come as early as Monday, and Coinbase's chief policy officer, Faryar Shirzad, has been out front on Fox Business making the case, pointing to that irony we talked about, that the banks resisting in public are adopting in private. So the pressure is real, the timing talk is real, and the momentum is real. But here's where I have to be straight with you, because I won't hype you into a corner. Could come Monday is not will pass Monday. This bill still needs 60 votes on the Senate floor. It still has an ethics provision that's been the sticking point for months. And there's a hard deadline. The Senate leaves for its August recess in early August. If it doesn't move before that window closes, the realistic next chance slides toward the end of the year, or even 2027, an election year where big bills get much harder to pass. So treat Monday as a possibility, not a promise. By the time you're watching this, that vote may have happened, or slipped. Check the latest before you bet anything on the date. What doesn't change is the direction. Whether the gavel comes down Monday or in September, $30 trillion has already decided which way this is going. The timeline can wobble, the trend is set. And honestly, that's the calm, powerful way to hold this. The people panicking over one vote date are watching the wrong thing. The signal isn't the calendar. The signal is who showed up to fight for this bill. When your former enemies become your loudest allies, the war's already turning, even if a single battle gets delayed a few weeks. So before the last section, here's my challenge to you. Everyone's glued to, does it pass Monday? But there's a bigger question that decides whether you actually benefit from any of this, and it has nothing to do with the Senate calendar. 60 more seconds. This is the part that's actually about you. Let me bring it all home. Here's where we stand. the most powerful financial institutions on the planet reversed a decade of hostility toward crypto. Not out of love, but because tokenization is a multi-trillion-dollar prize they can't afford to miss. To grab it, they need clear rules, which is why they're suddenly pushing this law in Washington. A vote could come as early as Monday, though the deadline is tight and delays are always possible. And underneath all of it, the XRP Ledger is already handling billions in exactly the kind of tokenized assets this whole shift is about. Now, I know some of you are looking at your portfolio, and XRP is sitting near $1, and you're tired of waiting. I get it. I really do. So let me reframe it the honest way. Price is the last thing to move, not the first. What you're watching right now, Wall Street flipping, a law being fought over, tokenization going mainstream, that's the foundation being poured. And you don't get $30 trillion fighting for a green light on something they plan to walk away from. We're early. Not just early on price, early on the entire rebuild of how money moves. The rails are being laid right now, in public, in a Senate hearing room, on a Fox business set, in boardrooms at the biggest firms in the world. Whether the vote lands Monday or in the fall, that build-out is happening. And the people who understand why it's happening, the ones who see the tokenization prize underneath the political noise, those are the people who tend to look back and smile. The pain doesn't last forever. It never does. And the foundation is being poured right now, whether the headline hits Monday or 3 months from now. So here's what I need from you. If this connected the dots, if you finally see why $30 trillion suddenly wants crypto legal, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because I track this stuff every single day so you don't have to. Drop your yes or no in the comments if you haven't. And tell me straight, do you think they get the vote done Monday, or does it slip? I read every single comment. Stay early, stay patient, stay optimistic. Protect your family, do your own research, and never let anyone rush your decisions, and that includes me. This has been Crypto with BHW. We're early. The foundation is being poured, and I'll see you in the very next one.